You mentioned something at the start, which I picked up on, which I liked, and you call it your referral scheme or your referral program. Something that I haven't heard a lot about from the service accommodation world. I do speak about it to the Boostly Academy members and to my hospitality world, but could you just sort of expand on that a little bit, tell people a little bit more about how you work it and what have been the results that have mean you're getting a lot of repeat bookings?
This is one of the most important, one of the most productive, and then which has resulted in one of the biggest revenue schemes, I would say revenue income, is the referral scheme. And we trialed different ways of running a referral scheme, where we was giving Amazon cards or gift cards for different retail or whatever. But what we ultimately decided was to give a percentage booking or a cashback to the customer which has stayed. So what they do, if they've enjoyed their stay, they will recommend us to their friends, family, or anyone they know, and they will get a 8% return on the booking that they create. A successful booking they create, they get an 8% return. And this is something we implemented about 3 months ago, and it results of people, what it gives them interest in, gives them a reason, not just because of the experience that we're giving them, but there's a monetization of them bringing someone to us.
Welcome to Boost Hospitality Podcast. This is season 6, episode 10. My name is Mark Simpson. I'm the founder of Boostly. Now today I'm going to be speaking to Adam Rana. Adam, I was very, very fortunate to meet him a couple of months ago. Adam, if you could just take a few minutes just to introduce yourself, a little bit more about you, and just how you got into service accommodation and hospitality, please.
Thank you very much for having me, first of all. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast and with all your audiences that you got around the world. Just a bit about, you've done, I think, a good job to introduce me, but just a bit about me. So my name is Adam Rana, based in UK, Birmingham, in West Midlands. I originally got into hospitality about end of 2017. My main background, which got me led into this, was my interest in traveling, stayed around the world. I've traveled 35 countries, stayed in different hostels. Actually, that's what really got into. I wanted to start a hostel. So this is where I've got my idea, from traveling, really giving it back to other travelers in hospitality and customer service.
So talk to me very, very quickly about the different type of properties that you have in the Birmingham area.
So I had to strategize and split into different customer base. So I have, for example, we have an avatar of a contractor base or a family base or a business corporate people. So I have a split of property which attract different type of market, different type of consumers. So I have 3 houses which are based in just outskirts of Birmingham, which we attract a lot of long-term direct bookings, or rather repeat bookings in my case, from contractors and referrals. We run a referral scheme. So that's one avatar that I use to attract to a semi-detached house or a 3-bedroom house around the outskirts of the city. Then I have a property base, which one of them you stayed in, which are more, I say, on the luxurious side, on the upper end of the market, which attract the international.
So you've got quite a few different type of properties. I like how that you've nailed down your ideal guest. Looking back then over the first year, what was or what has been one of your favorite failures that you've made? So something that you've done which was an error that you've learned from, that you can maybe pass on to somebody else who may be where you were right back in 2018.
When I started, I had 2 properties a year back, and now we have a portfolio of around 15 which is managed and owned properties of SA service accommodation. So one of the biggest mistakes I think I made early on, which has not hurt me so much, but it has, and one of them was when there was guests who were asking for extras or extra items, extra things. So I can use an example of families coming from abroad asking for a traveling cot. That's just an example I give you. So they were asking for extras, and so this is something I never provided. I never thought of. Not having kids, I never thought of there would be people looking for a travel cot. And we used to say no. Well, I used to say no, and I said, "Oh, look, unfortunately, we don't provide that service," and that resulted in just the mindset of a guest, like, "Oh, this is not a healthy guest," even though we supplied everything else and we were happy on hand help with everything. It was just that one little thing which was not advertised, but they wanted us to help them because they're not from this city, they're not from this country. So to summarize that, that was one of the biggest failures, which may have cost me some money and cost me some reviews. I would say some reviews well. But now because we offer that, it's not necessarily we make extra money. It's just that we provide the service and we keep the people happy and leave the choice in the customer's hand.
Could you just please just take a couple of minutes just explaining what you do in your other role for your other company, for the other job that you consult for, and how have you sort of cross-matched those skills and brought it into accommodation?
Use your other skills and transfer them into a business that you're passionate about. So, for example, for me, I work as a consultant, improving processes of our supplier base, putting in processes, improving our last customer experience, so that the end customer experience. So that is essentially what my background was, and to a limited extent, it is a little bit still. I know I'm focused on my business now, but the thing that I learned from there was working, systemizing, processes, having a process map, having a value stream mapping. This all comes from my corporate strategic world, which is transfer.
You mentioned something at the start, which I picked up on, which I liked, and you call it your referral scheme or your referral program. Something that I haven't heard a lot about from the service accommodation world. I do speak about it to the Boostly Academy members and to my hospitality world, but could you just sort of expand on that a little bit, tell people a little bit more about how you work it and what have been the results that have mean you're getting a lot of repeat bookings?
This is one of the most important, one of the most productive, and then which has resulted in one of the biggest revenue schemes, I would say revenue income. It's the referral scheme, and we trialed different ways of running a referral scheme where we was giving Amazon cards or gift cards for different retail or whatever. But what we ultimately decided was to give a percentage booking or a cashback to the customer, which has stayed. So what they do, if they've enjoyed their stay, they will recommend us to their friends, family, or anyone they know, and they will get a 8% return on the booking that they create. A successful booking they create, they get an 8% return. And this is something we implemented about 3 months ago, and it results of people, what it gives them interest in, gives them a reason, not just because of the experience that we're giving them, but there's a monetization of them bringing someone to us. So there was a lot of people literally referring their families. So yes, this is our process of giving them money back type of thing.
Really, really good idea, and it's good to see that it is working. And you know, I'm watching from the outside in. I love how you document your journey. What made you think that this was the right time to grow? Like, what is your feeling towards the future for you and the business in SA? And yeah, how excited are you in all of this?
I am really, really excited. And it has been one of my goals and part of vision now to fund this hospitality business in UK. It was to create a team. By creating a team, I think we can serve more people and help more people and make sure the customers are happier rather than just running a business with one person. So it's really important when you hire someone. When I hired someone, of course I'm excited, but it's creating the same values and the principles that has got me to this successful level, which I would call somewhat successful of a decent sized portfolio of a good customer feedback. We're running on a very good reviews from customers from different portals. To make sure we continue that, what I do is I have a set of values and principle and a mission statement. So I have a mission statement that I filter down to that one employee is an operations manager, runs my guest management, guest handling, issue management, essentially what on the ground day-to-day business he wants, and he's a customer facing person now. So he needs to have the same values. So this is very important for all the listeners out there. Make sure why you started your business is filtered down to this person. It's very easy to get lost hiring people and getting excited, but if you don't write those values down and stick them up in a bedroom that you're running it off, or a basement, that which we do, we have team meetings in a basement in the house. So yes, having set values, a vision, and making sure your top level employees are even filtered down to your day-to-day employees, which are doing the cleaning or the maintenance, understand what your vision is. I'm a firm believer that if they align with your vision and your goals, I think they will perform better and they will understand why you're doing something and why you want this standard.
Could you just give a little bit of insight on the tools, the software that you're using? I think it'd be really helpful if you could just share a bit of the tools, the names, the software, what you're using.
So the main one, which is a digital guide, which is a customer-facing tool, is what we use. It's houseguideapp.com, houseguideapp.com. Which is a really it's houseguideapp.com, which is a really useful tool because it's very visual, very easy to use. It's not an app, even though it's called an app, but it's not an app. It's a link, which allows the guests they don't need to download anything. You just click on a link and it gives them videos from check-in, videos for how to use a TV, how to use a remote, how to run smart stuff. Just creating that visual experience and an easy experience, and the customers love it because it gives them the ease of use, and which is what it's about in a customer experience. So that's one of the tools we use, and it's really changed my business. Set me apart from competition. Competition. There's always going to be competition. So check yourself out these tools, which makes other people's life easier. You providing a solution. So that's one of them that I've used. Behind the scenes, I use like auditing apps, something called an eye auditor, which we use widely enough other industries like construction, building, safety, use of safety, health and safety, just to create checklists and for your employees or your contractors to use, and what you want the standards to be done by, to allow pictures to be taken. So these are some of the apps that we use, and alongside my channel manager that we have to run our service accommodation business, which is Pokey, what I use. And these are all linked in into our business model and day-to-day on your phone. They can use on your phone, and they can use on your MacBook or your laptop. So it's essential to have tools around your processes, because unless you have the right tools for your people, you won't deliver the promised results that you have promised people. What
is the one thing that you see people getting started with property, with hospitality, with service accommodation? What is that one thing that you see them doing, the big mistake, so anybody else, like I say, who's right at the very start, can sort of avoid that pitfall?
The one big mistake I would say is relationships. People have, I think a lot of people that I've known around the world and in business and stuff, they missed a little trick. It's so easy. It's building relationships. Some of my business has grown. I don't like to talk about numbers to a portfolio of 15 units. It's because of relationships. Most of my business has come because either on the buying or the landlord side has come from because I've known someone and I've spent time with them, I've gone for coffee. The main reasons are, as I say, not the only, relationships have got me where I am. So just the people who are listening out there, I think just keep building a relationship. Think the long-term game. Don't think short-term.
Again, one thing that you told me that you do differently is you just pick the phone up after somebody has paid you a visit, especially like those direct bookings. You just pick the phone up, give them a call, and you ask some very, very good questions. So I think the final thing that we'll cover on this interview is those questions that you ask to get feedback, and good feedback. Could you just go through what they are and why it works, and what have been the results of asking these questions that has helped you grow?
We're about to touch on reviews. So reviews are key. Customer experience is key, and growing your business, your business model. And one of the things that we implemented is something called a Net Promoter Score. What we do is literally run it by a Net Promoter Score, so if people can go and Google that and have a look. It's just a star rating, 1 out of 10. How likely are you to stay? How likely are you to come back to our service apartments? And they will rate that 1 to 10. And if someone rates a 9 or an 8, there is an opportunity which allows me to ask why and take constructive feedback to improve that. So the next one is a 10. And it's better. It's always better than asking, how was your stay? It's better to ask them to rate the stay. And a lot of big blue chip companies do that. A lot of people will remember when you put a phone down, you get a survey to rate out of 10. And I recommend a lot of everyone to go out there in hospitality to do that, whether it's face to face or on a paper base, or it's on a phone call. We as a company have a compulsory phone call that has to be made 2 days after the stay, which asks these questions. And if it's a 10, yes, happy days, and we always offer a discount for a customer to come back. But if it's less than a 10, allows me to continuously improve. So very important to continuously improve by taking this feedback and not getting hurt, and continuously improving and keeping your business growing. This is how you will win against your competition. Wherever you are in the world, there's always going to be competition. Take these reviews and take them as constructive feedback. Use these tools like Net Promoter Score, and this is what's allowed me to grow the business.
There are a lot of things that you've been talking about in this interview tonight that so many people aren't talking about. So there's a lot of people that can watch this, whether it's live, and I know there's a lot of people tuning in live, or whether you're watching this back on the replay, or whether it's by audio in the podcast. There's a lot of things that people can be picking up from, and all of those tools, those tactics, those tips, they're going to be in the show notes of this episode. So don't worry if you've missed it. Now, Adam, we really appreciate you coming on tonight and doing this. If there's anybody who has watched this or listened to this and wants to find out more about you, what is the best way to reach out and say hi?
So you guys can reach me out on Facebook. Obviously, if you're watching on Facebook Live, so Adam, ADM, and surname is Rana, and I'm mutual friends with Mark. So you can find me through Mark. You can always also get me on Instagram, which I document my journey there. So it's Adam, ADM, R777. And you can get me and see how I'm growing a business, what I do day to day. So it's really helpful just to get content, and it's all free, and you guys can see how to improve your own businesses. And finally, I've had a chat with Mark earlier, and it's something I'm willing to do in my busy schedule. I'm offering free discovery calls if someone wants some help, or free content, or some of the tools that I use if someone's stuck on a question. So I'm only offering this to 3 people, first 3 people to book on my discovery call, and I'm happy to spend half an hour with each person to give them any advice you want in the service department, hospitality, business, just generally in business. So yeah, hit me up, and for first 3 people, and we'll put this in the show notes, Mark. It's calendly.com/Adam-Rana. So that's calendly.com/Adam-Rana.
Nice.
You can go and pick a time and just book a 30-minute call in. It's only for first 3 people. And so please go ahead, and I'll be happy to talk to some of your listeners, and I'll be delighted.
Superb. All right, buddy. I really, really appreciate you coming on tonight, and thank you to everybody that has tuned in. As always, this has been the Boost Hospitality Podcast. This is season 6, episode 10. If this is the first time that you have ever tuned in to one of these, you've got a lot of episodes that you can go and catch up on. It's available on iTunes. It's available on Spotify. If you prefer video, all the videos are on YouTube right now, on Instagram TV, LinkedIn, you name it, there are videos there. So go to boostly.co.uk/podcast to go and find out all the individual episodes. And please, before you do leave, go to iTunes, leave one of those lovely 5-star reviews. It helps this podcast grow and to get more and more people aware of it. All right, this has been Boost Hospitality Podcast. My name is Mark Simpson. I'm the founder of Boostly. To go find out more about what I'm doing to help people increase their bookings, go to boostly.co.uk.